Hi everybody. Oh wait, I got a snack first. Just hold on a second. Wait, throw a bunch of popcorn in my mouth. Okay. Today I am working on making some bells. These are from Dollar Tree, and no, they didn't come like this. These were like a metallic red. You can kind of see in the inside. This was the best shape they had. A lot of them were really wavy and weird and just, I don't know what was going on, but I wanted to get a head start on this video, so I took these outside and primed them with a little white spray paint, and it came out looking like one of those popcorn ceilings from the 80s. So I had to sand it down, and now I'm just going in with acrylic paint. I'm pretty sure it's probably Folk Art, something from Plaid. I was using this because I couldn't find my white chalk paint, but I find it later, and I ended up giving them 2 coats, maybe? Like one of the acrylic and then one of the actual chalk paint, which covered everything, pretty much. And I'm only doing the outside because I'm going to do the insides in a different color. But yeah, they had weird shapes at Dollar Tree. And you can get these, if you wanted bigger ones, they sell some at Walmart, but they're like, I think it's like $4 for 2 of them, and they all have weird embossing on them and stuff. I didn't want giant ones. I wanted those humongous ones, the metal ones they have at Walmart. Have you guys seen those? They're so big. But they're $10, and I was like, I gotta eat some more popcorn to give me strength to get through the next part. Alright, so now they're all chalk painted, they're white, they're nice, inside's still not done. And you can kind of see when I put the chalk paint on, I put it on with the sponge brush and kind of tried to leave a little bit of texture because that's just what I wanted. I figured it would pick up some of the glazing a little bit more. This is the Waverly Distress Wax or Antique Wax or whatever they want to call it. This is not like a wax that you would use on chalk paint for furniture and stuff. This is not, I mean, it's water soluble, so it's not actually wax. It's really just a paint pretty much. So I treat it as a paint. I got these chunky brushes from Dollar Tree because I am desperately trying to figure out how to make something, and I thought these would help. I don't want to say anything because there's a very good chance it's not going to happen, or it's going to happen, it's going to be a complete disaster, but if it does happen, you'll see these in the video. So I'm just going over the whole thing with a quick wet coat of the distressing wax. Glaze antiquing. I keep calling it distressing because that's what the Tim Holtz stuff is called. So I'm not trying to be perfect. I don't like when people distress something and it's like perfectly even, like it's this perfect even, like this perfect patina of age or distress or whatever, because stuff doesn't age like that, you know? Some spots are going to get more rusty, or some spots are going to get more wear from the sun, or, you know, stuff like that. So I just kind of got it on there because they were very stark white and I wanted to knock it down a little bit. So you can see these had texture in the valleys of the little scallop areas. They're just kind of like a little, I don't know, it was just textured a little bit, and that's showing up in the glaze because it's kind of picking it up a little bit. So I have a towel, which is the black and white one, and then the paper towel I have is slightly moist. I'm just alternating back and forth between them. Usually the towel to get off some of it, and then the paper towel to clean off the top parts of the scallops. These look so much like those, like, you know, bathroom fixtures that used to have those. I think we had those at my house when I was growing up in one of the bathrooms. And now I'm going back again with more glaze and a smaller brush, and I'm just going into the valleys between each little scallop deal here. Yeah, these look like cheap lighting fixtures. Well, they might have not been cheap. They might have been very expensive. They just look very dated. So yeah, I'm going in between each one. And if you want this to be a little bit deeper, you can let it sit for a while before you rub it off. I didn't want it to get too brown. I wanted to still have this kind of enamel look, but like aged, dirty enamel that's been hiding in a barn. You know, 90% of YouTube's aesthetic right there. Like, I want something that looks like I pulled it out of an old barn. So I wasn't hitting the edges right there as well as I would have liked to. So I just went back with the little brush and got it off. So there shouldn't really be much white, much stark white left. So you can see it's not a huge difference, but you know, one looks like it's been in the barn for a couple years longer. And this is obviously sped up, but this project, if you took out drying time, it didn't take me very long at all, because there's like no precision. I'm just going back and getting that edge, because it was like that on all of them. You can see it on the one I haven't done yet, how it's really light towards the bottom. And if you wanted to, you could go a step further. I didn't do it because I didn't want to. You could use the Tim Holtz Distress Crackle over the top of these to really give you that like aged, cracked, very glossy. Really, I think it would have been really cool, but I was just like, let me not complicate this. Because every time I complicate stuff, it gets, you know, out of hand. This bush was so weird. Look at it. I pulled 2 pieces off, and I'm like, okay, well, where's the what's going on here? It was all stuck together. It was so weird. I got this in a grab bag last year. It's just like a little, it's like berries, but with cedar. I don't know. I ended up using 6 pieces. I used 3 full-size pieces and then 3 pieces that I cut in half to give me 6. So there were 9 pieces total. Each bell got a big piece and 2 small pieces. So see, I'm just kind of cutting this in half. And trimming it down because I'm going to be gluing these right at the top. Now, I don't think I include any of the part of me wiring these on. I don't think I had to wire them on, but I wanted a little bit more security. So I glued them on, got them to stick, and then I went back with a wire just to really secure them on there. And you can see I stuck that first one through a little hole. These bells had like a handle on them. It was one-sided. It was very flimsy. I threw them away. I didn't even bother spray painting them. This glue gun, y'all, this glue gun does not want to behave. Every time I touch it, it falls over. And, you know, I've spoken very highly of the Gorilla Glue glue gun. The Gorilla Glue gun. But it was testing my patience. So here I am with a little bit of wire. I cut 3 pieces. And I am just going to put some glue down, wrap it around, pull it really tight as I can, which isn't very tight, but, you know. And it's not really there to secure anything so much because the glue is actually holding everything in place and the wire is glued. It's just to kind of pull everything back in case something wants to slip loose, because these plasticky kind of florals, they don't really adhere good to other plastics or really anything. So the wire was there, a little bit of extra security. And I guess I wouldn't just use glue and I wouldn't just use wire. So that's why they're there. Okay, so here they are all painted. I painted them black on the inside and I went around the edges just a little bit. And there are some spots where I just kind of let the brush just kind of touch a little bit so it looks like they were enamel that got cracked after they were aged in Grandpa's barn for 100 years. I don't know. So now I'm taking some jute twine. They sell this at the Dollar Tree. This is one from Walmart that I have been using for like, I don't know, I think I've been using this since the first video I ever posted on here and it's almost gone. And what I'm doing is covering the top because I just kind of want to hide all of my work. I initially wanted to put a ribbon on here, but you can see kind of in the right hand upper right corner of the screen there's that gray ribbon. It's only like, I don't even think it's a half an inch. It might be a half an inch. I wanted to put that on there. I didn't have it in a color I wanted, and the only other one I had was too wide, so I went with the jute. Cheaper, it's effective, you know, what you gonna do. So I just wrapped and glued until everything was pretty secure on there. So now these are glued and wired and tied on. Now I've taken some twine and I've cut it. I think each piece is about 18 inches and there's 6 pieces because each bell gets 2. And I'm making a little needle out of some wire. Wait, does each bell get 3? I don't know, it doesn't matter really. I think each bell gets 3. I made a needle out of a wire, and I'm just going to put it through there and thread a bead on to use as a stopper. I was going to put actual bells inside of here because, surprise, surprise, the Dollar Tree bells do not come with clangers inside of them. But I tried it, and it didn't make any noise because it was a metal bell inside of a plastic bell that was glued to the top. You know, it wasn't worth it to me to use bells when I could have just used these wooden beads. And you only don't have to use beads, you could use whatever you have. Or you could just glue it in there. So I put the cord through and then put a little bit of glue and kind of pulled them tight. And now I'm cutting a longer piece of wire here to make another needle. I could have just made a long needle to begin with, but, you know, hindsight 2020, whatever. So I'm putting that through the bottom. Got the eye of the needle down there, putting the bead through and then pulling the strings at the top. Now I'm just going to shoot some hot glue in there. And it's pretty cool to my house that these set up enough to be turned over pretty quickly, but it's just really acting as a stopper. I would have liked to use thicker twine or rope for this. I couldn't find any, you know. So when I put the 3, yeah, it must be 3. Yeah, it's 3. And when I put the 3 in there, I was like, I'm going to braid these, and then when I go to attach them to each other, I'm going to braid them into each other, and the cord's going to get successively thicker, and it's going to be so nice. And then, like, I went to go do it, and I was like, I don't have time for this. Nobody else is going to have time for this either. Who's going to sit here braiding, like, jute twine? Me. I probably would have, you know, but who knows? So I'm just offsetting these so where the bottom of one bell is touching the top of the other one, and all I've done is glue the cords together. It's not very secure right now. I'm just trying to get them together without making big knots. Which if you wanted to make knots, you could. I just thought that this was the best way for how I'm going to finish it. So yeah, I'm just putting a little glue and just kind of twisting everything together. This is not like a permanent hold. It's not like super structurally sound, I guess. It's not super strong, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here, which it gets a little confusing, but hopefully I can talk you through it, or you can, you know, actually see it. So I folded the top part down, glued it. Now I'm just going to trim everything up and get everything nice and flush. So I'm trying to get one set of strings to disappear into the next. And I'm doing that by cutting them off right at the top, and then I'm going to tie another piece of string, piece of twine, piece of roping, whatever. Tie that on there and wrap it around. It's kind of like a noose, but not, I mean, it's just wrapped. It's not like a noose, but it gives that like noose look, that noose aesthetic all the kids are going on about these days. So I'm wrapping that around. And this was just, I'm really into details. Like, I like just little things where, you know, it's not really serving any purpose. It didn't have to be there, but it's a nice little detail that you can put into something. When I was sewing clothes, because I used to do that, I loved adding details. Like, that was my favorite part. That's my favorite part of pretty much anything. Like, just being able to do something that, you know, shows that you took this little bit of extra time to make it nice. And with this one, I've made a loop, come back around, and now I'm wrapping the base of it. Then I'm going to trim the bottom and glue it there. And cut off all the excess. And if some of the glue is showing through, you can go back with your little chunky brush with the distress glaze on it and just kind of, you know, take off the shininess of the glue. And I had no idea why I was so out of frame for all these bows that I'm making. All I'm doing is wrapping them around 3 fingers a couple times and then tying them in the middle. And I'm just going to glue them on top to cover up that hole. And when I go off screen, all I'm doing is pulling it tight. And I didn't leave any tails or anything like that. Just kind of did it, fluffed it up some, stuck it on there. And you cover the glue that's inside, you cover the hole, and it's another little finishing detail. So that's all 3 of them done, and here's my pathetic attempt to show you what they look like on camera. Oh wait, you can't see anything because the camera's like a bird's eye view, and it's just, you can't see anything. So let's, say goodbye to inside and let's go outside. So here they are. They came out really well. I honestly started this and I was like, these bells look so cheap because, I mean, even for Dollar Tree, they look cheap. But once I was done painting them and adding the floral and the twine and all the little finishing details and touches, they came out really, really nice. And I did have them hanging on a sign outside my door, a Christmas sign. So I hope you guys like it. Comment, subscribe, like, follow me on Instagram, all that stuff. And I will see you guys on Monday, I think. Yeah. Bye.